everyone, Mike Fedyszyn, or Mr. Fed here. For this lesson, we have some 7th grade band and 8th grade band students who are going to learn more about Beethoven. Using the Allegretto from his 7th Symphony, we're going to talk about expression and musicianship, one of my favorite things to teach about. The goal for students is for them to use the interpretive skills we've worked on in the past while introducing them to the concept of musical direction. The other goal of my lesson is to personify Beethoven. I've always felt that students need to find the relevance of what they're learning so it can be real to them. Aside from being one of the most important composers in history, Beethoven was a person as well, with many of the same struggles that you and I might experience. I feel as if students can connect and relate to what they are learning and playing, there will be a higher level of musicianship involved for everyone. Thanks, I hope you enjoy. Oh, very nice job, guys. So, the notes and rhythms, like I said, they're simple, but music goes so much more beyond the notes on the page. We want to do something with it. That's what expression and musicality is. And you guys know all about it. You know a lot of ways to make that expression happen in music. One of those ways is to think about musical direction. Music goes places. We don't just think this way, we think horizontally. We blow through the notes, not at them. So I want you to think about that, guys. The first phrase, let's see if we can build through all this tension right here. The release point's over here. What can you do musically to build that? One more time, guys. Here we go. One, just the first phrase. Okay. Ready. Nice job. What did you guys do? What did you do to make that phrase and give it a little more direction? What did you do, Dustin?
I crescendoed through the measure.
Yeah, you kind of made the energy go all the way through it, so you kept the air moving. That's a really good one. What else? Yeah.
I was louder on the staccatos.
Yeah, so you emphasize those staccatos, something different in there with that. Yeah.
I crescendoed as the notes went up.
Yeah, the higher you go, the louder you get, the lower you go, the quieter you get. Exactly right. So now, let's see if we can add that in, but also make sure that the staccato's there. We're not thinking too short on the staccato, we're thinking separate. It's kind of interesting that Beethoven put that staccato in there while we're trying to build that phrase all the way through. One more time, guys. First phrase only. 2, ready. We'll build through. Nice job, guys. So, a little bit about this piece. Symphony number 7. Beethoven wrote 9 symphonies overall. There's a lot that I know you guys have talked about already with Beethoven. We've talked in the past about it. The biggest thing, obviously, he was deaf through most of his life. In his adult life, he developed tinnitus, and it basically kept on getting worse all the way to the end of his life. He never went completely deaf, but he was close with things. And when people think of Beethoven, they think of that picture. This stately composer just waiting to do something, but Beethoven, in a lot of ways, he was kind of like you and me. He had his own issues in his life as well. We kind of look at just the music and look at just the greatness from the music, but he was a human being. That was him right around the time he wrote Symphony number 7 in 1811, 1812, around that time. He was kind of a mess, personally. Not only was he deaf, he was getting more deaf by the day and getting heartbroken and depressed over that. He was poor, he had no money. He was living in a war-torn portion of Europe. Napoleon, the Emperor of France, was trying to take over more land in Europe, and it was constantly on Beethoven's mind. He was also heartbroken. He was somebody that was not good in his romantic life at all. Did you know, people say that the legend has it that he proposed to 16 different women, and every one of them turned him down. So he was somebody who was kind of like in the friend zone with everybody like that with things. He was also really socially awkward. He was basically kind of like a recluse, kind of an introvert, didn't really talk to people, and when people did talk to him, he was just kind of different in some ways. His manners were really poor. People said that like when he was eating, he had horrible table habits, like just food all over the place with things. His hair was unkempt, unshaven, he was kind of just not the person a lot of people think he is. He's kind of like you and me in terms of, especially now with you guys being teenagers, there's times you feel awkward in life. That's what Beethoven kind of was. And he still was able to do this great music like this right here. So now, I want to show you guys something. I want to show you the actual recording of this. Now this is the actual piece, Symphony number 7, with different parts. Now you guys have those parts right now. Why don't you guys take those out? I want you guys just to watch a little bit of the very beginning. Check it out. Beethoven personally said this was one of his best works that he did. A lot of music historians look at this as being one of the most important works in music history with things, especially that rhythm you're playing right now. People say it's like oozes energy, it oozes emotion with things. It sounds sad. Beethoven wasn't trying to write a sad piece, but if you think about what was going on in his life while he wrote this, you couldn't help but wonder. So now when you're thinking about this, guys, how can we make that happen in terms of the interpretation we just did with the musical direction, and also just a little bit about the history? How will that affect our performance? Why don't you guys try the other version now, not in your book. Try the other version. Try it, guys. Here we go. Think about what we just did with the direction. 2. That's there. There's something really interesting about this. There's a lot of different musical ideas that Beethoven layers. You just saw the first one. You just played the first one. If you've already done number 93, if you're already through this one, I'd like you to try that alternate version right now. Everybody practice right now, just for fun. If you haven't done it yet, that's okay. Practice the alternate version right now. Give it a shot, guys. On number 93 with me or Miss Howell before, feel free to do that, the alternate part right now. Everybody else, do what's on the page right over here. So this page right here, what is that melody going to add to it in terms of how we're thinking about the piece and how to shape it? Try it, guys. So basically, let's do this. Let's start at measure 3. If you're on this page, start at measure 3. If you're in your book, start in the beginning. We're all going to start it together. Here we go. Everybody know what we're doing? Here we go. 1, 2, and ready.